Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Workbench here at Scale Models Midwest. David here. Hi, along with Chelsea.
Hello.
All right. So, here's an update on our daddy-daughter build. She's getting ready to go back to university tomorrow, and I'm getting ready to go back to work after being off for a week. The week flew by way quicker than we expect, as always. But still, we had a great time. With the exception of Friday, we were down here at the workbench each night working on our kits. And I was going to kind of show you what she's done here.
And Wednesday.
We were off Wednesday too? Off Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday and Friday were off. But we still got quite a bit of time down here at the workbench together working on the kit. So we're going to go ahead and show you what we've done, what she's done so far with her kit. As you can see, she did pick out Salvino's JR 1972 Richard Petty Dodge Charger. And a couple caveats on this we'll talk about as we go through, as I was explaining to her as well. The kit, she put together and painted and clear coated probably 90% of this kit. I took care of little fiddly bits like the front suspension, and had a little mistake in here that, yeah, I know, that we'll talk about here in a moment, purely caused by me. We still have a few things to put on within the roll cage, but we're going to go on ahead and get started. We'll show you the body, or sorry, the chassis of the car. Chelsea sprayed all the blue.
This is the actual body.
Yeah, the chassis here and the body we're still letting dry because we just clear coated it here probably not even an hour ago. And we're going to put a second coat of clear on it. But the chassis and the body, she used the Tamiya. She used Tamiya TS23 light blue, which is a good approximation for the Petty blue. In fact, as she sprayed it, there's really no difference in the color of the paint to the color of the body. So if you're looking to paint your Richard Petty bodies that are blue, the TS23 will do the job just fine. The chassis, like I said, she painted pretty much everything here. Black, blue, I put the decals on. I did install the shifter because that is what we call the fiddly bit. The roll cage and all she put together. Okay, well, you can have a seat, Chelsea. And of course, I showed her how to do some detail painting. The engine she put together herself. She did a really good job with it. I did the headers. I did have to notch the headers for a little bit of clearance to get up underneath so they could match, but as you can see, she did a pretty darn good job with that. The front didn't go together as ideally as anticipated, but she did get, with the exception of the steering box, she got the master cylinder and she got the oil filter up here on the top of the front roll cage assembly. The chassis, this is where we kind of ran into some problems, and they were because of me, and it's because I was excited to help her get the kit built. The rear end, all done together. I showed her how to put the shocks on basically upside down and then use your knife to push it into place into the hole underneath, so that works a lot better. Showed her how to paint the pumpkin, different color for then the rear end, and then of course red for gear housing. Also made sure she knew to put this little piece on here after the drive shaft went in, otherwise the drive shaft won't fit properly. And then to get the exhaust to fit up to the headers, I had to notch the headers at the very front to clear that. And as you can also see, I've still got to put the cross member in because that's where I had a problem caused by me. I put the engine and everything together on the chassis before I put the torsion bar and the cross member in place. My fault. We can get that corrected easily enough. The fiddliest bit of all, which I've had problems with all of my Salvino's kits that have the steering suspension, is that tie rod. So we're going to put that on. You have to snake it underneath the torsion bars and then into the little pins on the spindles. But still, with paint detail, and a lot of this, again, she sprayed herself. I only took care of maybe 10% of the fiddly bits of detail painting and of gluing of the smallest parts. But where we had different shocks, I had her put in one side as I showed her how to put in the other. So she did a pretty good job with it. The decals, I showed her how to put those on as well. And speaking of decals, we'll just go on ahead and segue right into the body. The hood did all the decals on that just fine. And then this morning again, she cleared it. A couple of coats already of lacquer clear. Pretty good job of that. The body, and this is one of the caveats I have regarding these decals. These petty red or vermilion or petty orange, what do you want to call them? These decals are thick and they're big. So for starters, I've had this with the other petty kits that I've built. As you can see along the top, I could not get these to sit down or conform, even after we all but sanded down the rough edges to where it was almost too round. But as you can see, there's a very thin line across it. Tried to just touch it up a bit with some red. I do not have a petty red paint, but I did tell Chelsea, first kit with experience on these kind of decals, it's bound to happen and nothing to be worried about too much. As you can see, we had to do a lot of setting solution to get this to conform in the front, and in the bottom it actually started to cause the decal to break apart. Down here, up here at the top by the door sill. Okay, we had a couple of areas where we actually had to cut small pins into them or slices to get the decals to conform better, but still it did not turn out bad. And I explained to Chelsea we can do a little weathering, so we're going to do some paint splotch to make it look like it's a raced car, like it just came off the track. Still, again, for first time applying majority of the decals herself, she did not do a bad job. She got these lined up pretty cool. Got the front end, and in the back she got this done to do as well. So that's going to go on the kit. We still have a few things to put back in, like the hoses, the spoiler for the front, windshield. We'll do that once the clear is dried, and then she'll call that kit built. So overall, she did a really good job with this kit. It is definitely not a kit I would recommend for someone who's building their first kit, but if it's your child and they want to build the kit, you're next to them. If you've built enough of these kits, and I have, I've probably built like about 8 petty kits and gotten better at each one and still learning from them, then have at it. You know, she picked a kit out of the selection and I said, all right, we'll do it. So, had fun. Now to my kit, which is not anywhere close to being done yet, probably a couple weeks out from being done, but I was working with Chelsea on hers, is this one. This is a drift truck, and I think I showed it off in a previous video, but this drift truck is a Blacksbox STL file, and I'm trying to remember the guy, I think his name is Andreas or Andre, who designed this and had it printed out. This is a really well detailed kit. Unfortunately, it does not come with instructions. What I ended up doing is I managed to download off the web a diagram of what the various parts look like, and I figured, okay, I'm going to go on ahead and put it together that way. So I started by the chassis, which again, extremely well detailed, and it came all like this, including the rear end. Okay, the drawback to this was that it was severely warped. So when you have a warped piece of resin or even in plastic, a couple minutes in warm to hot water, let it sit in there for about a minute, pull it out, bend it to shape, and then set it on the table or some flat deal to where you can keep the bend in place. And to make sure I had that, I put some weights on it. So good thing to have some fishing lure weights, and put that on there, kept it going, kept it straight, and so now I'm ready to do what I need to do for painting. I still don't want to paint the roll cage and others, but as you can see, Chelsea had a hand in deciding what color to paint the vehicle. So I had some paints laying around. I used decanted to me a purple on the body, as you can see. Did that. I've got 3 coats on it so far, and once we have things started for assembly, I'll be clearing it. The pink is a Shortcuts pink from Tester slash, what's the other thing? It's Tester slash Rust-Oleum, and it's a Shortcuts pink. She liked that, so I went on ahead and painted the hood because she wanted to have the seats painted pink. These nice little Corbeau racing buckets, and I'm going to paint the back kind of like a gray-black to mimic your carbon fiber. The rear end was all, again, purple, decanted and sprayed. The brackets, I may leave the same color, or I might hand paint those aluminum. The dashboard, I did spray that as well in pink, and the dashboard itself I'll detail paint as I get to it. The engine, the motivation for this project, I went on ahead and painted aluminum, and I'm going to just go on ahead and paint detail this as well. And I think ultimately the detail on this is really good. Been sitting in my stash for a while. I got the interior all done in a titanium or gunmetal metallic, and again I'll paint out some of the details and then do some weathering. Other than that, the kit will get put together probably the next couple weeks and get that squared away. I've got the tires painted NATO black, and the rims, I looked at them and I thought they were a little bit more detailed than these are, but just to kind of show you, that's what the inner rim is going to look like. I'm going to keep those flat black for now and maybe shoot a coat of matte clear on them, but the outer rim hoops are going to be a Rust-Oleum chrome silver, and then the brakes I'm going to paint detail. I've got those over here on the side in aluminum, and I'm going to be painting the Brembo calipers bright red. Then again, I might paint them bright pink, just like the hood and the seats and stuff. So as you can see here, we got this one pretty much well underway. I'm still working on the 64, 65 Pro Streeter. I know that the deadline is passed for the group build. I still have to put that one last line of yellow on there before I clear it, but I am working on this one. This is slow progress, but the more I looked at this and the more I said, you know, I want to do it right as best I can. Not right now. I've got other kits I can build right now, and this one was kind of a good quick build. These 2 kits to get them built, get them on the shelf, slump busters if you will, but the fact that it gave us also time, my daughter and I, just to sit at the workbench together and do something rather than her being off in a room playing video games or watching TV or me doing the same or what have you. If you ever have an opportunity with your kids or grandkids to do this, get them introduced into the hobby, or if they're already introduced and they just haven't built a kit for a while, find out what they'd like to build. Your local hobby shop's got a ton of stuff out there. Here in Iowa, we've got our Hobby Haven in Urbandale, and especially the hobby shop up in Ames, which is a great place to go to. And I'm sure within the next couple of weeks, if you're in the area and you're into military models, the guy's going to have plenty of that available for sale, as he got some stuff off of an estate. So we're planning on going back up there ourselves, because my daughter does like military war stories, and she likes to study World War I, World War II, and other wars like I do. So we got that nice little commonality together, and I think we might just go up and find ourselves a couple of tanks and some blades to build. But that's for another day. In the meantime, I hope you're currently building the cool kits. Continue to check out this channel, share it with your friends, like and subscribe. Appreciate you doing that. We will catch you in the next video.